nutrition habits you need to drop your next 30 plus pounds. Okay, these are the same exact steps and habits that I give my coaching clients who are dropping 30, 50, 100 plus pounds. And so if you've been eating healthy, you've been trying to lose stubborn belly fat and drop weight, but you're still not seeing the weight come off, you're still not seeing your waistline shrink down, these are the steps you want to start taking. Okay, so the first thing is this: being mindful. Okay, I don't want this to go over your head. It's really, really simple, guys. Really, really simple. Most folks think that they need to be eating chicken and broccoli every day. They need to be starving themselves. They need to, you know, eat salads all day and the detox diets and all these things. You don't have to do that. All right. That's one of the biggest reasons most folks find themselves being so inconsistent with their eating habits, because they're following nutrition habits that are not sustainable. Okay. So the first thing is being mindful. This is why if you rock with me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you see me talk about make these food swaps. Eat these proteins, eat these fruits, eat these vegetables. Very, very simple things. But a lot of people are just not aware of what type of foods they can eat. And they default to eating a lot of fast food, a lot of junk food, a lot of, chips and trail mix and things like that, because they're living a very busy life. And I get it. You're successful, so you don't have a lot of time to be in the kitchen for hours. You're successful. You have a lot of demanding things to do in your career and in your personal life. And so therefore, you have to still understand we can't just eat based on convenience. We also have to eat based on being mindful of the value of the foods that we're going to be eating. Okay? And so eating fruits, eating vegetables, eating, healthy fats, eating proteins. These are the types of foods that are not only going to help you lean out and lose weight, but it's also going to help you avoid health issues. I was talking to a guy the other day. He had filled out an assessment form, inquiring about working with me. And this guy had high blood pressure. And we jumped on a game plan call and we went into more detail about his situation. And he told me that his doctor had told him, because he had been on high blood pressure medication for so long, it caused him to have kidney disease. And then he was like, if you don't start making some real lifestyle changes, he's going to end up on dialysis. And so I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but dialysis, not only exhausting, but extremely expensive. I had a buddy of mine when I did network marketing back in my early 20s. His brother ended up on dialysis, and he had to help out. He had to pitch in to help his brother with his dialysis fees. And he said it was something like $3,500 or $5,000 a month. It was something crazy. And so imagine being the type of person who's thinking, investing in a health professional to help them lose weight is too expensive. Imagine having to invest that type of money on a monthly basis. That is crazy. That's a very costly mistake to make with your health, and lacking proper decision-making skills to not just master the problem, but solve the problem. Because taking the health medications from type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure is not solving the problem. It's just masking it. Okay? Solving the problem is making healthier decisions with the type of foods that you're eating. Being mindful. Okay? Can't drink sodas and simply lemonades all day. You gotta start drinking some water and some sparkling water. Things like that. Okay? That's the first thing, being mindful. The second thing is energy management. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have heard a lot of trainers say calorie intake, calorie deficit. If you want to lose weight, just calorie deficit. And this is what most generic trainers just default to. That's all they say. Oh, you're not losing weight because you're not in a calorie deficit. Well, we all know you got to be in a calorie deficit. We know you need to be eating less, but just by eating less doesn't mean you're going to feel good if you're not eating it the right way. Here's what I mean by this. I talked to a lot of people who inquire about coaching with me, and I had a guy the other day. He was like, he just snacks throughout the day. He'll eat maybe one meal a day towards the evening time, and he was like, maybe I'm not eating enough. And I'm like, you're not losing weight. How do you feel like you're not eating enough? It doesn't even make sense. Well, in reality, he's eating more than enough from a calorie intake standpoint, but he's not eating enough meals over the course of a day. This is a part of energy management, guys. Managing your energy and your blood sugar over the course of a day. That way, you're not starving yourself in the earlier part of the day, then emotionally eating and binge eating in the evening time. That's what this guy was doing. Plus, he was overeating on the food in the evening time because he had, deprived himself so early on in the day, in the morning and afternoon. Can't do that. This is how folks gain so much weight so quickly because they're just eating a lot of food out of habit and deprivation. They're depriving themselves. That doesn't work. Okay? And so energy management, calorie intake, the frequency of meals, okay? And meal timing. Like me being, the coach that and the things that I do on a daily basis with staff meetings and these lives and the podcasts and creating content, all these types of things, it requires me having to understand how to manage my energy throughout the day, because I'm back to back, And so outside of exercise being a way that I help manage my energy and my stress and my blood sugar, I manage my energy by understanding not just the quality of foods that I'm eating, but the portions and the frequency that I eat the meals throughout the day. Understanding the timing, like, okay, well, after I eat this breakfast, I know in a couple of hours, right around this time, I'm gonna be hungry again. And if I push it and wait too long, I'm gonna be starving. And if I'm starving, I'm not gonna eat nothing good. I'm gonna eat some junk food. So just like you guys, it's only so much willpower and discipline that you can have. And so people who are successful, we understand we only have so much willpower and energy and discipline. That's why we have to rely on structure. Okay? And we're gonna get more to that in a second. But having a structure around your calorie intake, your protein intake, your meal frequency and things like that, that's what's going to help you lose weight. Okay? That's energy management. The third thing is this. I talk about this a lot with my coaching clients. And it's not being pleasure and convenience focused so much. I know we're busy. I know we're successful, but we still have to be value driven. You hear this whole high value man, high value woman thing being thrown around a lot on social media these days. And, you have to look at the same way with your food. How can you truly look at yourself as high value if you're not putting high value type food in your body? You have to be prioritizing eating the right types of food. That way you have the energy to perform in your career, excel in your career, and make even more money. I know a lot of guys and women who reach out to me who are really busy. Why are you so busy? Because you want to make more money. Why you want to make more money? So that you can provide for the people you love and care about and have more experiences in your life and have that peace of mind and not worry and stress about money, right? How can you make that process easier and less stressful? Have more energy from the foods you're eating. Feeling more well-rested, not feeling stressed and tired because your body is just weighing you down. Imagine carrying around a 30, 50, 100-pound book bag on a daily basis. How tired and exhausting that can be. This is why it's very, very important that you focus on the value of the type of foods you're eating. All right? 80% of the time, you need to be value driven. 80 to 90% of the time, value driven around the type of foods you're eating. The other 10 to 20%, you can enjoy yourself. I talk a lot about, me drinking an old fashioned Woodford Reserve, or me drinking some bourbon, or whatever it is, or some scotch. I do these things, but I'm not doing it all the time. Okay? I'm not doing it all the time. Because if you do it all the time, this is how the health issues come. You have women who are out here spending, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a Louis Vuitton purse, and they're not happy with how their body looking. They're hiding in these big clothes. Or the guys who are spending $400 plus on a monthly basis. Easy, because that's just $100 a week on dates, whether it be with their partner or if they're dating. Over the course of a year, easily $5,000. You can invest those types of resources into your health, so that way you feel better, you feel more confident, you look the part. You want to excel in your career, looking the part, having that image will give you more confidence to want to do more. And so that way you could be that positive role model and example for the people you love and care about also. You can't do these things if you're not feeling good. When you start working on your body, everything around you gets better. Your family, your career, your energy, Even the way you feel about yourself, it gets better. Because now deep down, you know you're taking care of yourself. You know what you need. You're doing the things that are required to make sure you're doing good, mentally and physically. Okay? And so that's the third thing, be value focused. And then lastly, structure. Structure in a way that fits your lifestyle. You can't just eat mindfully, because I get a lot of people who reach out to me. They're like, man, I'm eating healthy, but I'm still not losing belly fat. I'm eating healthy, but weight's still not going down. That happens because of a lack of structure. You're eating healthy, but you don't know how much calories you need to eat on a daily basis. You're eating healthy, but you don't know your daily protein intake. You're eating healthy, but you don't know your fiber intake. You're eating healthy, but you don't know how many meals you need to eat throughout the day to make sure you're having a high metabolism. You're feeling good. You have energy. You're not stressing and feeling like you're starving. No structure. When you don't have structure, that's how the wolves come in. And what I mean by that is one of my favorite movies is John Wick. And they talk about in the movie, we have to keep rules, and because the rules keep the wolves out. And they talk about, like, if you off somebody that you're not supposed to, you're excommunicado. We got to keep the rules. Ain't nothing against you, John Wick, but you excommunicado. We sending everybody out there. Bad news right there. How does this reflect in your life? If you don't have rules around the type of foods that you're eating, how often you're eating, the type of, when you're eating junk food or when you're enjoying yourself, when you're drinking alcohol, if there's no structure and rules to how you're living, the wolves are coming. The wolves is the excess belly fat and your clothes don't fit the way you want them to. The wolves are the high blood pressure, the hypertension, the sleep apnea, the type 2 diabetes, the brain fog. Those are the wolves. The lack of confidence in yourself because you're not happy with how you're looking. Those are the wolves. That's why we all need to have rules, structure that we live by. That way we can excel. We don't have to rely on discipline. We don't have to rely on willpower. Structure is the next level. If you want to excel, you're successful, you want to get to the next level, you view yourself as a high achiever, you achieve higher levels in your life by having structure. Same way you build businesses, the same systems, or whether you have a career that you're in right now, there's systems. They call them SOPs that allow for you to thrive. You have to have the same type of thing within your body, with the foods you're eating, with your physical activity level, with your sleep habits, your hydration habits. All very important things to account for. All right. Other than that, hopefully y'all found this helpful. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and if you would like help from me, you would like a structured step-by-step plan on what things to eat with your nutrition, what you need to do in the gym. That way you can stay consistent with your routines with the gym and with your eating habits to lose the weight and keep it off. I'll drop a link down in the description down below. That way you can review everything, and if it's the right decision for you to work with me, we'll talk about what that looks like. All right. Other than that, we're out of here. Let's get it.